Hello, and welcome to another episode of Beardy's News Roundup. It's Friday.
It's Friday again. And then Saturday, Sunday, what? Friday again.
Oh, is that actually a song?
Sunday? Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were making shit up.
No, it's a real song. It's
I thought you were
awesome.
just dropping lyrics like they're hot.
Oh yeah, I drop everything like it's hot.
Such a lyricist.
Lyrical gangster.
Oh yeah. Taking lyrics and shooting ass, I don't know.
Shooting ass?
Yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. I was thinking, the taking names and kicking ass.
Yeah.
I was thinking of that and then I lost my way. Welcome, everybody. It's another news roundup. We're already on the first tangent of the show.
Yay!
Let me introduce my flouncy, bouncy, fun, ticker time himself, my co-anchor of the evening. And of course, I'm the Beardy Gaymer. If you don't know who I am, then you need to use Google.
We've got an extra special co-host tonight. Gigi is in the house. Yeah, I think he might give some opinions in a little bit. He was asleep until just now.
Yeah, well, that's the way, isn't it? Cats rule the world.
Who rule the world? Cats.
That was perfect. That wasn't even rehearsed.
That was awesome. I love it.
If you are new here on a Friday evening, I will gather one of the lovely Games Assembled boys and girls to come and host the news with me, because I scour the tinterweb each week for all the top news stories that's been gripping the gaming world, and we go through and give you all of our hot takes on it. And so Tiggs is loaded. He's locked.
I'm locked. I'm ready to go.
His pussy settled down. And we've got 7 items on this week's news roundup, starting with item number 1. Microsoft Bethesda deal goes gold. Boom, 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 gold. Always believe in your soul. Anyway, this week the EU has finally dropped its approval for the acquisition of Bethesda by Microsoft and Xbox. And also came with some news. They did a little drop. They're going to be doing a summer event and a showcase. It's a shiny new studio off when they're going to put 20 of the Bethesda titles on Gamepass. We're going to go to Rebecca Valentine over at IGN for some details. So, this was on yesterday, Thursday. So, during today's roundup discussing the recent Xbox acquisition of Bethesda, Xbox Marketing General Manager Aaron Greenberg and Bethesda Global Marketing and Comms Executive Ern Losey confirmed that they were in the planning phase of an event for some time this summer, which is going to include some more news and details about the partnership between the two companies. No further details were given, but the Greenberg did add that they were in the planning of some sort of Xbox traditional thing that they'd normally do at E3, but this time it's going to be their own thing because, COVID, all that kind of stuff. So we know this year as well that E3 is happening, but it's going to be a digital-only event because of the corona pandemic. But it's not clear yet whether this Xbox event will be separate from the digital event or not. Historically, Xbox has been a big presence at E3 each year, but last year was the first E3 to be cancelled, and other companies have held other standalone events in the summer instead. So we had the Summer Games Festival, we had Sony doing the thing, Nintendo didn't do anything.
Nintendo invented it though, Nintendo Direct. It was so funny they didn't do anything.
They invented it and then gave up on it last year. It was like
fuck this shit.
Everyone else is doing it, we don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, we were edgy before, and now we're just we're not doing it.
In the same presentation today, Xbox also announced that 20 of its Bethesda games would be coming to Microsoft Game Pass tomorrow. Today. They're now. I've checked earlier, they're there. And Phil Spencer also gave some details on the future of Bethesda games on Xbox platforms, saying they're going to be coming to Xbox Game Pass day and date. That's going to be the best place to play Bethesda titles, and that they're looking at bringing some games exclusively to Xbox. So we'll see what that means. And then onto the list of the 20 games. So we've got Dishonored, Dishonored 2, Doom, Doom 2, Doom 64, Doom 3, Doom Eternal, Fallout New Vegas, Fallout 4, Fallout 76, Prey, Rage 2, Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind, Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim, The Elder Scrolls Online, The Evil Within, Wolfenstein The New Order, Wolfenstein Old Blood, Wolfenstein Youngblood. That's it. That's all the games. Tiggs,
you did that very well.
Did I? Yeah, I didn't stumble as much as I normally do. Because if you know by now, I'm shite at like reading things, but you know.
That's all right.
Tiggs, tell me.
Well, well, I don't really know what to make of it. Like, it's a bit sort of. The bit I'm not sure about is what they're going to bring exclusive, because they're going to lose revenue there massively. So that's we're getting the striptease. You can leave your hat on.
Every single time. Anybody that ever watches the podcast or watches any of my own streams, I always come in here with a jacket on, and within 5 minutes of the stream being live, I'm stripping off and opening the window because I get too sweaty.
That's just because you want people to just make it rain.
Yeah, I'm just bringing in the thirst trap. As in, not the thirst trap as, you know, when you look for #gamer, but the thirst trap is in, like, somebody's just put too much fucking salt on your plate, like, and you're just thirsty. You know, like when you go to a restaurant and they put too much salt on the food, you're like, I need a drink. Oh, I need a drink. So you don't know what to make of it, yeah?
I don't know what to make about the whole, like, what they're going to put exclusive. Like, that's the thing. Now, the nice shiny games dropping in Gamepass, that's awesome. Really good. Because it'll give a lot of people access to those titles, and some of them are quite good, like Doom. I played a bit of that. Prey, I played the demo of that, and then I got a bit scared, and then I stopped playing. Surprise, surprise. Non-scary gamer.
Yep.
I did like the original Prey, though. Did you play that?
I didn't play the original, but I do have the new version that they brought out a couple of years ago.
Yeah, it's scary.
Well, I didn't get that far into it, to be honest with you. It's on my backlog.
Surprise, surprise. Beardy's backlog.
Beardy's backlog.
We could do like a whole show about that, and between you and Sif, I think it'd be quite an extensive backlog where we just go through all the games and how far you played them.
Several episodes. We should do an episode that's like backlog of disappointment. So we read out the most disappointing backlog entries that everyone else is going to be like, I can't believe you've not finished playing that game. Like, that'd be pretty funny. Yeah. I think it's interesting. I don't think things like Fallout, Elder Scrolls are going to become Xbox exclusives, because I think the fan base is too far there, too much there. People playing all over all the platforms and stuff. And if they're putting it onto Game Pass and they can sell it on other platforms for $70, £60, whatever it is they want to do with it, they're going to sell it. They're going to want to make that money back, because I'm still not convinced that Microsoft's Game Pass is a good business investment for them in terms of revenue.
No, absolutely not.
I just can't see it. But
Microsoft's if you look at PlayStation, they're keeping like their AAAs. They're dipping their toe into the water, but their AAAs aren't going to be there on their online sort of pass. So
I think I can't see big Bethesda titles not being multi-platform. I can, however, see them doing a Elder Scrolls spin-off or a Fallout spin-off, something that's not a main entry into the series. Yes. That would make a lot of sense. Or new franchises, so like Starfield could potentially be an Xbox exclusive, because we're still no nearer to any details and stuff on that yet. But I don't think Elder Scrolls 6 or Fallout 5 or anything like that is going to end up being Xbox exclusive. I don't even think like Doom or Wolfenstein or anything like that. Maybe Dishonored 3. Bussy Tycoons in the chat says, I bloody want... I want my bloody Dishonored 3, damn it. I could see that becoming an Xbox exclusive because there's a good fan base there, but it's not, I don't think, a game that's so big that it would be missed off other platforms. Like a
Well, they're missing
Fallout
revenue there, aren't they? And they need the revenue to... from the multi-platform stuff to make up for the revenue that they're losing by releasing first-party titles on Game Pass. So that'll be, I think that'll be so Bethesda, all the biggies will be multi-platform as normal to try and recoup some of the costs that they're losing from doing But it is awesome. It is pretty cool, and it's good for Xbox owners to be able to have access to that back catalogue of games there. Like
it's really cool. It is
legendary
really cool.
ones there.
And I think that they are gonna have a really good time with it.
Yes, absolutely.
I think it's gonna be really fun to see what happens in the future for it. But I just don't think they're gonna leave those big franchises off the table and try and just consolidate them in one place until they get the xCloud stuff everywhere. So if they're talking about bringing xCloud to TVs, to Amazon devices, all that if they can do that, then maybe the audience will be big enough there for them to make it exclusive. But at the minute, if they're just locking it behind a console wall, I don't think it's going to work for them.
Yes.
Yeah. Bussy Tycoon says, I think on Xbox Game Pass, developers have more security to take more risks, which is good since Microsoft have infinite money, and that's true as well. I think if there's something in ZeniMax's library of risks that they want to take, but they couldn't take them before because money, that's what they'll be doing on Game Pass, and that's where the exclusivity will come into it.
We could see some really interesting, like, new IP as well from that, which would be great because, like, I think, not to be a little bit old school here, but I think like there's a lot of cliches now that happen with new franchises and that sort of thing, because a lot of the ideas have been done before, and it's so refreshing when you get something that is totally like out there. Like for me in recent years, it's been things like Death Stranding, Horizon. They're very, very different in the way they tell the stories. And
yes, something like Horizon is a complete 180 on what Guerrilla Games Studio was known for. They were known for doing the first-person shooter in, oh my god, what's the Killzone universe stuff. So yeah, I think they'll do some more risky stuff. I don't think big franchises and stuff are going to be exclusive to Xbox. Things like the Indiana Jones project that they've announced, that's not going to be just on Xbox. That's Lucasfilm Games, or whatever they're calling themselves now, is not going to allow them to just shoehorn that on one property, on one console. So
because they want the money, honey.
Exactly, it's all about the moolah. Let's move on to story number 2. I've changed the title of this one. So the square root of Enix's direct to you.
Yeah, baby.
Is what I've changed it to. Yeah. Square Enix is going to be holding its own digital event on Thursday, the 18th of March, to showcase a new Life is Strange game, along with some updates on several of their other franchises in the portfolio. Tom Ivan over at VGC has got some information. So, Square Enix presents Spring 2021 world premiere of an all-new Life is Strange, and it's also going to be featuring Outriders, Marvel's Avengers, Tomb Raider's 25th anniversary, new Square Enix Montreal games, a Just Cause mobile game, and Balan Wonderland. And it's all kicking off at 10 a.m. PDT, 5 p.m. British Standard Time. Apparently it's going to be for around 40 minutes long. The event will include trailers and announcements for various titles, including the world premiere of the next game in the Life is Strange series, featuring an all-new protagonist wielding an exciting new power. Also saying that Outriders, Marvel Avengers, Just Cause Mobile, Balan Wonderland, and a new game from Square Enix Montreal, who previously did Hitman Go and Deus Ex Go, will also be featured. The event also promises latest news on this year's Tomb Raider 25th anniversary celebration. A listing on the Microsoft Store recently revealed plans for a Tomb Raider Trilogy collection, and it's got a March 18th release date, which could be a placeholder. Although it's given the same date as the first Square Enix Presents, the publisher may announce a surprise release during the event. Tomb Raider Definitive Survivors Trilogy is set to contain Tomb Raider Definitive Edition, Rise of the Tomb Raider 20-year celebration, and Shadow of the Tomb Raider Definitive Edition in one package according to the Xbox listing. The games are listed as 4K Ultra HD with HDR10 compatibility, but there's no mention of any specific next-gen console features such as improved graphics or new features. Tiggs, what do you think about Square Enix dipping their toes in the old direct square root?
So out of all the stories, this is probably one of a couple that I'm most excited about. So I think it's going to be brilliant. And I'm sort of hoping, although it's not been announced there, that I'm sort of hoping we get some more like Final Fantasy 16 like dick tease footage, because girl, that trailer made me wet.
If I promise you now, Final Fantasy 16 deets are gonna come from Sony State of Plays. It's not gonna come from Square Enix's thing. I don't want deets. I just want, even if they just replay the trailer again. Not gonna happen.
Anything.
It's not gonna happen.
Just stop ruining my dreams. They're my dreams.
Sony's there with the Square Enix testicles in the hand, like, we own this. We will tell you when you can say things about it.
Very well.
And Square Enix is like, yes, daddy.
So,
you know, it's not going to happen.
Well, fair. We'll see. I hope you're wrong for my own fanboy moment. But out of everything, the thing I'm most excited about, I know Llama's going to be like super excited about Life is Strange.
Yeah.
But for me, it's the Tomb Raider stuff. So I'm sort of, upon reading the article and everything, I'm a bit like, please don't just really re-release the trilogy. Please give us some more details about the new game where you're going to merge the timelines. And we've got this really, because there's been character models that have been on the internet. She looks awesome. I'm just so ready for this merging of the timelines, and I really hope they do it right, and I really think they will. So I hope they give us some more details about some of that.
I think for me, with the Square Enix thing, the things that stand out to me are the new Life is Strange thing. I mean, I've never really played them, not a fan or anything like that, but I know they have a huge fan following, and there's going to be a lot of people excited about that. I think the Marvel's Avengers thing is probably a very smart thing, because on the 19th, that's when their next-gen release goes out, and it's also when Clint Barton's character DLC goes out. So that for them to spend some time on that is probably a smart move, and maybe unveil what they're going to do next, what the next character is, what the next area is, raids, all that kind of stuff, because we still haven't got that out of it. Tomb Raider, that's pretty exciting. The Enix Montreal games, the guys that did Hitman Go and Deus Ex Go, I'm not too sure what to expect from them, to be honest with you. Just Cause Mobile, not bothered. Balan Wonderland, not bothered about that either.
What is Balan Wonderland? I've not heard of it.
It's like a JRPG thing. Sif's probably going to be all over it. You know what he's like.
Surprise.
Yeah, he'll be there. He's probably already there playing it. But I'm pretty sure it came out and it didn't get very good reviews, or the
Lara Croft Go
thing wasn't very good.
No Lara Croft Go. No. We've got Temple Run with Lara Croft.
Yeah. I'm over on Eurogamer with Martin Robinson. Says Balan Wonder. Oh, it's Wonderworld, not Wonderland. Sure feels a lot like a classic Sonic team game.
Oh dear.
Oh yeah, no, I remember this. Yeah, no, it's more like a 3D platformer type thing.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but I remember them saying like, I'm pretty sure it was Kind of Funny Games I listened to it on, and they were just like, none of it really makes sense. It's not very satisfying to play.
Oh. Well, I'm going to be very controversial here and just say Nintendo, in my mind, in my life, invented platformers, and nobody really does it as well as Nintendo. Sorry.
Yeah, true. Tomb Raider's the exciting one, I think. It's 25 years. I just think that They need to all companies need to up their game when it comes to these big anniversaries, because so far, like, Mario's was alright, I guess. They did a lot more than what they've done for Zelda, for example. Pokemon's 25th anniversary this year, so far, not really anything knocking out of the park. I mean, Diamond and Pearl remakes, yeah, that's cool, but there's nothing, there doesn't seem to be anything celebratory apart from some of the stuff that they've been doing in Pokemon Go. I just feel like publishers don't actually really do anniversaries that well.
No, well, at the end of the day, they brought out Skyward Sword and the Joy-Con. Oh my god, the Joy-Cons look amazing. And you still can't pre-order them in the UK, which is really pissing me off.
But the Joy-Cons and the Skyward Sword thing wasn't even like, and to celebrate Zelda's 35th anniversary. No. It was just like, hey, we've still got this Zelda game on the Wii U that nobody played, like, so we're going to port that across now.
I don't understand what they didn't do.
Oh no, it was the Wii.
What a great game that was.
I'm surprised they didn't do a trilogy pack, you know, like the 3D All-Stars thing that they did.
Should have done. They missed a trick.
Yeah, but anyway. Yeah, so we'll see. I think, I'll be watching it at 5 o'clock. That's a nice time for me next Thursday. Be chilling out, have my brew. See what they have to say.
If I am still working, I will have my iPad on and I will be watching it on my iPad because I am super excited.
Cool. Let's move on to story number 3. No cheating there. This is my no cheat square. PS5 developers will have access to Denuvo, an anti-cheat tool when developing games for the platform. We're going to Liana Rupert at Game Informer for the article. So both PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X have a lot of incredible new features to bring to the new generation of gaming, but it looks like Sony is going to make a PS5 more beefed up with official Denuvo integration. The Team Blue has confirmed that in recent press statement that the PS5 anti-cheat tools are on their way with the Denuvo tools and middleware program. It's been announced by Sony and Edito, a leading company in digital security. So there's a lot here going on because people are happy about it, but it's basically they're saying that cheating ruins video games and we want people to be honest. So these softwares monitor the gamers and make sure they're not cheating, all that kind of stuff. It's very prevalent in the PC era. Doom, there was a Doom debacle because this same software was put in there and there was a lot of complaints about the fact that the Doom Eternal was taking information from the computer in terms of its specs and stuff and then giving that to Amazon, and also it was slowing certain games down or certain processes and stuff down, and people just don't really seem to like it. What do you think?
No. Why? I get the whole cheating thing. Like, to be honest, like, I'm pretty shit at games. Well, I'm not shit at them. I'm shit at first-person shooters, but I do enjoy them, and I like playing them online. So, if there are some people that play those games that are just too good to be true. I'm sorry, way too good to be true. And you're like, right, where is this coming from? And it does take the fun out of it. Like, it really does. If you're getting corpse camped and every time you respawn, you're automatically dead within seconds, it does take the fun out of it for like casual gamers or like people who aren't that skilled. I get it. But why can't they build something into like the actual game software itself, or like the servers to detect cheating? Why does it have to be on your own personal hardware?
Well,
you know, that has
I
your
don't think it's
information.
going to be. So it's the software is being given to the developers of the game, so it's going to be in the software of the game. It's not going to be on your PS5.
Right. Well, I guess that's okay then. As long as it's not collecting shit, I don't want people to know. Crap, imagine.
The issue that I have here is, like, people are not happy with the cheating thing, and I'm going to say something that's probably a little bit controversial, so at me if you want to, but I'm going to take a guess that a lot of people that are pissed off about it are pissed off because they potentially don't want their games to not let them cheat.
True. Yeah, I imagine, yeah.
And it's the same case that they'll say everything wrong about it is collecting this, it's doing that, it's slowing games down, it's doing this, it's slowing your PC down, yada yada yada, to to whip up a frenzy within the gaming community. I don't know much about this software. I don't have any evidence to say whether it does or doesn't cause these slowdowns or steal people's information, all the rest of it. But I just can't see that a big company like Sony would allow a company like this to come in with this cheap software if what they were doing wasn't above board, if that makes sense. And people are like, well, they're telling Amazon that my processor's this particular processor. All right, cool. Like, how many times in a day do we click on websites and stuff and just click accept all cookies without reading what those cookies do and what these things do? You've signed up to Facebook. Facebook is listening to you. You put something on Google, and 2 minutes later, it's an advert on your Twitter account. Like, our information is already out there. Like, but for some reason, nobody's like crying about the fact that Facebook is, well, the people are actually crying about it, but you know what I mean? Like, people are happy to put that information in there into Facebook and Twitter and Google and everything else, but then the minute somebody uses something to stop cheating, this, what we talked about pre-show, we were saying about, like, maybe it slows down PCs or games or anything like that, and I said to you, Tiggs, well, I feel like the problem with PCs is there's so many different configurations. Like, it doesn't surprise me when things don't quite run the way that they would do in the test subjects, or I think like the test group or whatever it is that they're doing. Whereas with a PS5, the hardware's the same in every single unit, so they don't have to account for that variability. Maybe this software is collecting this information to try and make the software run better. Like, who knows? We don't know that. Like,
send your information to Apple if there's bugs.
Yeah.
Gremlins in the system.
Does it? Everything on your computer is trying to get you to buy something or push you towards a purchase or whatever it is in your phone and everything. So, like, unless that information's been used in a nefarious way, I don't see how Amazon's going to get an upper hand on me by knowing that I've got an i7 in my tower. Like, what they're going to do, put more adverts for an i8 on my Amazon when I'm having a look round? I don't know. Like, unless it's actively taking information like where I am in the world, what websites I'm looking at, like all that kind of stuff, then I just don't see what Amazon's going to gain out of looking at what RAM that I use and what my motherboard is and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, as long as it's not taking like your actual info or your pictures or anything like that, like, you're all right, aren't you? Yeah. You got to watch your cookies.
Your cookies.
Me so hungry. Me want all the cookies.
But yeah, and I think anything that stops people being jackasses and cheating is a good thing in my book. I mean, how many times? It's really bad in the Soulsborne games. The amount of times where there's so many YouTube videos that I've watched, and I've had this happen to me as well, where I've jumped in, somebody's come through, and they're completely OP'd, like infinite fucking magic skill points, throwing out spells, all this kind of stuff, and it's like, you're definitely cheating, but I have to suffer for that, like, because I can't do anything, and these guys are there just like griefing people. So yeah, down to it.
Cheating takes the fun out of it for everyone else. Exactly.
Digital Monk says he really wants the Joy-Cons. He's already got the Skyward Sword on pre-order. Bussy Tycoon goes, nom 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 nom. And Digital Monk also says there are already a way around the cheat blocking. You can buy a special device for consoles and PC that doesn't mess with the game's coding. So there's some options. To that point,
Digital Monk, if you find those Joy-Cons, DM me on Twitter, please. If you see them up before I do, thank you very much.
I'm just there's a point in there that it said you can buy a special device for consoles and PC that doesn't mess with the game's coding. My point to that would be, why should I have to go and spend money to stop other people ruining my game?
Yes, I agree with that.
Like, developers should be doing that. Let's move on to story number 4. EA Bay. It's in the auction. I changed that one last minute as well. EA is investigating allegations that some of its staff have been selling rare FIFA Ultimate Team cards for anything up to €1,700. We're going to James Batchelor over at gamesindustry.biz for some information. He says, Electronic Arts has launched a thorough investigation after reports of a company employee selling FIFA Ultimate Team cards directly to players. Eurogamer has collated some of the claims made via Twitter, with more found via the hashtag EAGate. Images from various messaging apps show conversations that indicate an EA employee is selling rare icon cards. These are special cards featuring legendary players for hundreds, if not thousands of euros. One example shows an offer for 3 Prime Icon Moment cards. One that was marked as a particular game or tournament that was particularly special to the featured footballer, and 2 Team of the Year cards for €1,000. Another offers 3 moments and 2 Teams of the Year for €1,700. These cards are incredibly rare when obtained via the random player packs that usually purchased in FIFA Ultimate Team. EA has responded with a statement on Twitter. I don't know why I went Scottish there. Scottish. Lawrence Cheney. We are aware of the allegations currently circulating within our community related to FIFA 21 Ultimate Team items, the publisher wrote. A thorough investigation is underway, and if we identify any improper conduct, we will take swift action. We want to be clear, this type of behaviour is unacceptable, and we in no way condone what's allegedly to be happening here. We understand that how this creates concern about unfair balance in the game and competition. We will update the community as we get clarity on the situation. Tiggs, what do you think about EA Pay? It's in the auction.
I think you've got a new job coming up with these strap lines. Anybody that wants strap lines, DM Beardy.
Yeah.
That guy, if he is selling them, or she, because we don't know who it is, or they, I have one very strong message for that person. Fuck you. This is exactly what's wrong with the whole thing. PS5 launches, scalpers, people making money off fucking gamers left, right, and center. We get ripped off for all of this crap, and it come like those loot boxes and stuff. We've talked about them on previous podcasts before.
Yeah,
like there is a lot of stuff. There is a lot of researchy type things that are happening. They're saying that they're getting kids into gambling and whatever. It's just not. It's not like whenever. Do you remember whenever you were a kid and you had your sticker albums? Do you remember them?
Mm-hmm.
Like the Panini ones. So you'd have like a Turtles one or whatever.
Yeah.
You get like, and you'd have to collect all the numbers
Believe
of
it or
stickers.
not, I had a football one.
What?
I had a football one. I had the Prima football collector stickers magazine thing, and I had to collect the footballers and stick them in the book.
How very butch of you! I'm. You don't watch football now, do you?
No.
Oh, right. Just footballers.
Not even footballers. I think they're a bit of a pansies, to be honest with you, but you know.
Yeah, give me rugby any day, real man.
Rugby, scrum me.
It's the way they hold each other. Yeah. Anyway, before we go into
another tangent.
Another homoerotic tangent this time. These people need to be caught and they need to be fucking sacked. That is it. There is no do not pass go. There is no pass and go and collect £200. Do not pass go. Sacked. Bad person. Bad. Fuck off.
I think this story just exemplifies the fact that these EA FIFA Ultimate Team loot box things are people's addictions. Like, you know, if people are willing to spend best part of $2,000 on a couple of characters, then they must have some serious issues with wanting to play that game, like play that mechanic. And we've talked about it before, and I've said it before, I'll say it again, loot boxes are gambling when it comes to giving people things like players, giving people advantages within a game. When it's cosmetics and all the rest of it, not an issue. But when you're selling a 60 £100 game and then asking people to spend real world money to collect characters to be able to play that game better than somebody else, it's gambling. It's just not fair.
It could just be nostalgia as well, like with some of those legendary players and that. Like it'd be a nostalgia trip for a lot of people, and it's not fair to take advantage of that, I don't think.
But the thing is, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, if any of our homosexual gamers out there would like to make a comment on this, but if I buy, say, I don't know, the FIFA Ultimate Team Legend Team of the Year edition of David Beckham, circa early noughties Manchester United team, Sprite or whatever it is. I have no idea what I'm saying. I'm just making fucking words up here.
You go, girl.
For $1,000, yeah, or €1,000 or whatever it is, I drop £1,000 on David Beckham. I'm pretty sure that next year when FIFA 22 comes out, I'm not going to be able to take Mr. David Beckham from FIFA 21 into FIFA 22.
Oh, I don't know how Ultimate Team works, but yeah.
But if that's the case, then they're trapping you into that game to spend absorbent amounts of money to collect these characters just for you to get rid of them from one game to the next.
Look, whoever is paying for these characters, if you pay me, I will dress up as the character and call round to your house.
I'm trying to say this with love and kindness, Tiggs, but if I ordered a super duper FIFA Ultimate Team David Beckham from EAB, it's in the game, in the auction, and you turned up at my door in some fucking I Love Manchester paraphernalia, the guy that sells the souvenirs down the street, and came in and was like, "Well, my name's David, where's my tea, Victoria?" Like, I'd be pretty pissed off.
Right. Okay.
Matt Warby in the chat says, I mean, I went through it a while. I spent like £300 over a month and stopped playing as I realised when I played FIFA. Wow.
Oh, Maddie, can you answer a question then? Does the players carry over? Like, these people spend £1,000 on players, will they carry over into FIFA 22?
From one game to the next.
Let us know.
Could you imagine if it was like Pokemon, and I spent a load of money? No, they don't carry over. I didn't think that they did.
Oh my god!
So can you imagine if it was like, here's your Pikachu and it costs you £25, and next year there's going to be another Pokemon game, but that £25 you spent on that Pikachu, you're gonna have to spend it again to get the Pikachu. Like, people would go fucking mad about it.
Absolutely.
Like.
That's bad. Thanks, Maddie, for keeping us honest. I was going to say keeping us straight, but there's no chance of that.
Thanks for the fact check. Let's move on to the next one, because I think two things here from this story. One, the person that's doing this is absolute scum and need the full extent of whatever law or whatever it is that they can do towards that person. And two, it just highlights how scummy EA's microtransaction loot boxes and FIFA team system is.
Agreed.
Disgusting. It was a fucking warriors.
Motion past.
Yeah. Story number 5. Infinite Darkness details have been dug up. So Resident Evil's next CGI installment is coming to Netflix this year, and it has released some key art, synopsis, and more. Game Informer's Alina Ruperts is back again with this story. So Netflix has quite a few gaming adaptations coming up down the pipeline. I don't know why I said that, because it says coming down the pipeline, including a CGI Resident Evil series called Infinite Darkness. Netflix did share a tease video back in January, and now the streaming company has dropped another new look, this time with new key art and a full synopsis. The TV and movie giant has previously teased at the new Resident Evil series, saying, "When biohazards run wild, only a pair of veteran zombie slayers can get the job done." I don't like that already. Don't like that tagline already.
It sounds very fucking... Because whenever I was reading it, I was a bit like, oh, that sounds really cliche.
It sounds like, do you remember when you used to watch Buffy? And in the beginning it was like, once in a generation, there is a slayer, and she is the chosen one. It feels like that. Like... When the biohazards run wild, only a pair of veteran zombie slayers can get the job done. Team Resident Evil! Like, it just sounds shit. We've now got an even closer look at Leon Kennedy and Claire Redfield with new stills in addition to an impressive looking poster. The posters look pretty good. If you want to see it, go check out on Netflix's Twitter or go to Game Informer. They also followed up the tweet with Resident Evil Infinite Darkness is bringing back the RE2 remakes Nick Aspelodis, and who played Leon Kennedy, and Stephanie Pancello as Claire Redfield, which is fucking awesome. Regarding the story, Netflix has been pretty vague regarding what the tale will entail, but the series is going to be set in Capcom's universe. Now we get our first look at the story with the upcoming show, and the statement reads, in 2006, the White House, a symbol of the United States, was hacked by somebody. Well, that sounds ominous. Traces of the unauthorized access were found in the top secret files under the presidential jurisdiction. U.S. agent Leon S. Kennedy and others convinced others convened for the investigation to encounter the unidentified zombies in the sudden power outage of the White House and control them with SWAT. Meanwhile, I feel like I completely fucked that paragraph up.
It's fine. Just
meanwhile, TerraSave employee Claire Redfield encountered a strange painting by a boy with aphasia. Ha! We got there in the end.
You went right Cockney there.
I know. In a country visit help to refugees, Claire pursues her own investigation triggered by the picture that seems to have been drawn of a virus-infected person. I mean,
right? Okay, let's just pause for a second. Does that like description read to you like it was written by a 4-year-old?
Well,
like
it sounded like it was read out by a 4-year-old, to be honest with you.
No, I was reading this earlier myself, and I struggled with that word that you struggled with, so I'm not going to try. You should try get me to say certain place names and try and work them out. It's awful. I'm not very good at that. But it just felt like it was so lackluster. Like, they could have made that the White House has been hacked by someone. It could be like a nefarious group of, they could have made it more like, trying to get people excited for it.
Yeah, because it's like, what? Let's. I'm gonna digest and regurgitate in a more Resident Evil type thing. Where we at? Let's have a look. Let's reopen it because I closed the article. So, in 2006. So 2006 is, what, 10 years after the Raccoon City incident?
Yeah, because that was released in 1996 and it was set in the same year.
No, it isn't. I think 1997 was the Raccoon City incident when they blew it up. I'm pretty sure it was 1997 or 1998. I'm not too sure. But let's go with 10 years after the White House buried the secret of the Raccoon City incident. The White House has been hacked by a nefarious organization trying to pull up the details of the bioweapons under Umbrella's jurisdiction. See? That's so much better.
It's not fucking hard, people. Whoever wrote that needs sacked. Yeah. Like, it didn't... I'm titillated by the new Resident Evil, and let's be honest, I don't play the Resident Evil games anymore because I am a scaredy cat and cannot deal with them because it's too real now. But I did play the originals, all of them, up until 6, and then I lost interest in that because it was too actiony. And I loved the storyline. Like, and I love I really love the characters. I love Chris. Why do we have Leon and not fucking Chris?
Well, because Leon goes more into the Secret Service type stuff, like within his thing. This is in Capcom's universe as well. So after Resident Evil 2, he goes off to be a US agent, and that's where he gets involved with Resident Evil 4 and the president's daughter getting kidnapped and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So they're basing it in that world still, and in that world as well, Claire Redfield does go work for TerraSave, which is an organization that's set up to try and help places that have been affected by biohazard outbreaks.
But Chris is hot.
Yeah, it's true.
Leon's not.
Digital Monk 1988 says it was 19. Sorry, Digital Monk 1988 says it was 1980. 1998. Fucking hell.
Oh my god, girl, can you just stop reading?
I should put my glasses on, really, shouldn't I?
Are you not wearing contacts or anything?
No.
Oh, well, now we know where it went wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I'm intrigued to see what it's going to be like. But I'm not massively hopeful for it. And like Digital Monk says, Leon is actually more popular than Chris. So I'm not surprised they're doing a Chris thing.
Not in here, he's not.
And you've got to remember as well, this year they've got Resident Evil Village coming out, and Chris is going to be in Resident Evil Village, so I don't think they're going to want to put something out there that's too focused on one character.
Can they not just make that third person so that I could maybe have a chance at playing it?
No.
If they made it third person, I think I would have a chance at playing it. I want to play with Chris again.
Yeah, but if you think about it, you're playing it third person.
Huh?
Because you are the third person.
Oh no. No. I see what you tried to do there. You just want me to do it and stream it so everybody sees me shitting myself.
Yeah,
that is what happens. Like, I will watch this TV show, and I have watched the Resident Evil cartoon, CGI films. I mean, they're all right. They're just all right. Which is a shame.
The thing is, I think that Capcom's and Resident Evil's just got itself back into a really good place. So with the Resident Evil 2 remake, Resident Evil 3, even though it wasn't as good as 2, it should have been handled a little bit better and not as much content taken out of it. Resident Evil 7 really kind of brought the Resident Evil franchise back to life again. Sorry, the pun.
No, he's on fire tonight.
And I think that they've got a perfect opportunity now to kind of go, let's forget about like the old Resident Evil films, because they were okay films, but bad Resident Evil films.
Careful.
The live actions ones. What do you mean careful?
No, careful.
The live action ones.
I liked Alice.
They were the biggest crock of shite I've ever seen in my life.
No, the first Resident Evil film was good. Really good.
The first Resident Evil film was okay.
No, it was really good.
No, it was okay.
And then, really good.
Okay.
Watchers, please. No, I'm not going to play Resident Evil 7 in VR. Not a hope.
I think he should, for saying that the Resident Evil films were good. I
have seen sort of third person played through the whole game, because my ex played Resident. He started Resident. He started it, and he wouldn't play it without me there because he didn't understand what he was supposed to do. So I saw everything. So I have played Resident Evil 7.
When it comes to the 21st of June, when we're all free of any COVID restrictions here in the UK, I'm going to drag you around. I'm going to sit you in this chair. I'm going to put my VR headset on you, and I'm going to make you play Resident Evil 7.
Only if we stream it.
Yeah, it's going to be streamed.
Okay.
It needs to be streamed.
Oh, God.
Has to be streamed.
Oh, my God.
I want everybody to watch this.
Shall I put up my calendar now then? 21st of June, Resident Evil 7. I'm putting it in here. I will do it, but I will, honestly, I might have to wear an adult diaper.
That's fine. I'll put a bin bag down.
This is only for you. I would never agree to do this for anybody else. Just for you.
Yeah.
And Digital Monk. Oh my god, this is going to be horrific.
It's going to be amazing. So I think that they've finally got Resident Evil back in a place that it's good again. Like, people are enjoying it, the fans are excited about it. Look at all the hype around Village and fucking Lady D with a big old vampire lady titties. Like, the whole world lost their mind for that shit. Like, and they're finally in this good place. I think they should have taken the opportunity to go, let's put the other CGI films to one side, because they were more based on this kind of like action adventure thing that they were trying to push with Resident Evil after 5 and 6. But let's put that to bed and let's soft reboot Resident Evil. We've got these new films that are coming out that again are a soft reboot of the film franchise. and let's just try and tie it all together in a way that's coherent and in line with what Resident Evil should be. And I just feel like they're not doing that.
Is any of you guys in the chat actually like? It's getting way too kinky. Hey, why was it getting kinky? Any of you guys in the chat actually like the Resident Evil films? Because I quite like them. So
if we're looking at it as a standalone film or a standalone series of films, and you take the Resident Evil title out of it, they're not too bad.
Well, what about that god awful one that they did where they had all the characters in it that looked like the actual characters but could not act? Like we had Barry Burton and Chris and everything. That
was awful. The whole thing. You take the Resident Evil name out of those films, and they're mediocre at best.
I think they started strong, and then they slowly. I will agree that they slowly went downhill, but I did enjoy them.
They took a fucking nosedive. They were like, "Oh, we've got this thing. Let's jump off the fucking roof at 60 miles an hour." Like. They were in the plane. They were in the Resident Evil plane, flying above Raccoon City, and decided to go skydiving without a parachute. That's what they did. And then when they hit the ground, they still dug it up and stuck it on a fucking film screen. Like, like that last Resident Evil film was like the most bizarre shit that I've ever seen in my life, where she's going back to Resident Evil, she's going back to Raccoon City, and she's now faced with a clone version of oh my god, I forgot his name now, who's now a preacher who has followers on a little dirt bus thing while dragging an army of the undead behind him for reasons unknown.
That's what I do on a Friday night, girl, whenever I'm not here.
Yeah, no, not about it. Digital Monk says, I liked 1, 2, and 3, but the others were bad. Bussy Tycoon says, they're stupid fun. That opening sequence of Retribution was unironically excellent. I'll give you that, actually. Retribution's where everything's like slow-mo and reversing. That was a very good opening scene to a film. But for a Resident Evil film, they're awful. Take the Resident Evil name off them, and I wouldn't really have a problem.
I liked them because they weren't really super scary as well. I could deal with them.
Bullshit. They were bullshit. Let's move on to story number 6. Have you seen that new Game Boy Color game?
What Game Boy Color game?
There's literally a Game Boy Color game coming out. So, a game that was originally developed for the Game Boy Color was cancelled due to the release and popularity of the Game Boy Advance, is going to launch thanks to a Kickstarter campaign that's hopefully going to raise the money to complete the game and release it both physically and digitally for the first time. We're going to Chris Scullen over at VGC with some more details. So, the game is called Infinity.
And beyond!
Yeah. Infinity was an RPG that was under development by Fixin Software between 1999 and 2001 and was due to be published by Cave Entertainment. However, when the Game Boy Advance launched and the interest in the Game Boy Color was diminished as a result... Burp, I'm sorry. No, I didn't do it. Sorry.
You dirty bitch.
I had 2 of the biggest baked potatoes before I sat down to do this, with bolognese all over the place, so I'm a little bit full.
You told me you had a baked potato. It's all coming out now.
No, I said I made baked potato.
Yeah, implying singular. You little truffle snuffler.
I'm going to go on a tangent here. I make the biggest fucking portions in the world, and you would not believe it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like, I eat so much food, it's not even funny.
I'm really struggling at the minute.
Yesterday I ate so much food, I had heartburn. At like 1 o'clock in the morning, and I had to sit up till 3 o'clock this morning because I didn't have any Gaviscon. I was just there like, oh, why did I eat that extra portion of this?
Oh my god, that's brilliant.
Yeah. So anyway, so where we're at. So the game was cancelled because of the diminished interest in the Game Boy Color. However, official site for the game has launched by Incube 8 Games, which was originally reported by Nintendo Life with the intention of being able to launch a Kickstarter campaign to complete the game and give it a physical Game Boy cartridge, which is pretty cool. The physical versions will be released by publisher Retro Modding, with a digital ROM version also being released for emulators and flash cards. I think that's supposed to be flash cards.
Yes.
In a quote, they said, "For the 20th anniversary of Infinity, we have assembled a team consisting both of Infinite's original and fresh faces to complete Infinity and give it the physical cartridge release to the Game Boy Color that it was always deserved." Infinity was supposed to be about 20 hours long, an RPG consisting of more than 50 explorable areas with more than 100 items. In 2016, an unfinished version of the game was published online by a former Infinite staff member, but because of numerous bugs in the code, the games ended around a quarter of the way into the story. A number of other unfinished interesting titles from Nintendo have been released over the recent weeks. In January, there was an Xbox 360 HD remaster of the N64 classic GoldenEye was leaked online, and it was almost in a near complete state. What do you think that we're going to get a new Game Boy Color game?
Well, I mean, girl, they're a bit late to the party. I have seen a few of these things happening in recent years where there's games that were supposed to be or almost finished for a particular platform and they didn't quite get there. It's going to be really good for the people that have played like the released 3/4 of the game that have blue balls now because they're waiting to see how the whole thing ends.
Yep.
I have watched the little trailer. It looks cute. Like the graphics and stuff are very cute, very of the time. Like I think if you're into that sort of retro styling, I mean, I'm a total graphics whore, so not for me maybe, but I think it's really cool that developers are getting these opportunities now because of where we're at and how, like, I want to say mainstream gaming has become and how many resources that they have available to be able to work on projects like this. You know, it's good that they're able to go back and finish their loves to share them and share their stories with us. We're very fortunate.
I'm really surprised that when I first saw this story, I generally thought it was going to be, hey, we had this Game Boy Color game that never got released because it got cancelled, blah, 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 and we're bringing it to the Switch. But because it was originally going to be a Game Boy Color thing, as part of our Kickstarter, if you pledge so much money, we're going to send you a physical Game Boy Color cartridges. I thought it was going to be like a special edition or something to kind of pay homage to the thing, a fully playable Nintendo Game Boy Color cartridge, but it was going to be released on the Switch or something. I'm really surprised that they're leaning into this and being like, no, it's coming out on Game Boy Color. Like, it
is very bold.
Yeah.
Have you clicked in I didn't click in the Kickstarter. Have you clicked in the Kickstarter?
I've not
to see
actually
how far they are?
Yeah, let's have a look.
Let's see how far they are.
So we'll go to the official site. Soon on Kickstarter, so it's not actually on there yet.
So it's just hype for the moment.
Yeah.
I think it's cool. And you have to commend them for going for what it was originally released on. It was going to be released on, and lots of people will still have Game Boy colors. And
yeah, that's true. But I think, it's something that it's cool that it's coming out, and there's clearly an audience for it. Otherwise, they wouldn't be doing it in the first place. But I think it would get so much more attention if they'd put it on the Switch.
I agree, but who's to say they're not going to do that after the Kickstarter's finished?
That's true. Maybe they'll get there in the end.
This could be the marketing ploy for the initial release, and then afterwards, it'll be like, oh, we're going to drop this in the eShop.
Mm. It does look cool. It reminds me of the Game Boy days. Just on the thing in the backstory, apparently an ancient and nameless evil stirs beneath the earth, twisting the land and its people alike with its corrupting force. Two rival nations careen towards war as a shadowy figure arms them both with the unholy weapons of immense power. Sounds pretty cool, to be honest with you.
It does.
A disgraced knight is called upon to overcome the centuries-old pain that has divided these people, his own grief, and the malevolent forces fanning the flames of hate. This epic tale frames a role-playing game with a unique tactile-based battle system, a detailed world with over 50 explorable areas and more than 100 items, and a beautifully 8-bit graphics, all to immerse you in the worlds of infinity
and beyond. Whoever wrote that synopsis, can you
go give Resident Evil a hand?
Yeah, can you give them a hand? Can Netflix hire them to write the Resident Evil synopsis?
Yeah.
Thanks.
So yeah, I think it's really cool. I think it's cool that they're doing stuff like that. I just think that part of their Kickstart goal, if it goes out the window, like how much money and stuff to get out, they need to bring it to Switch. Because I'd buy that. It looks really cool.
It does look cool, I have to say. It really does.
Let's move on to our 7th and final story of the evening. In space, no one can hear you scream, except for your teammates. In a surprise drop, a new Alien game is on the horizon coming this year, and IGN has all this super cool, like, exclusive information. So it's a new game called Aliens Fireteam, and it's a Fireteam is a co-op PvE shooter coming to PC, PlayStation, and Xbox this year. So Aliens Fireteam, a Left 4 Dead-like 3-player co-op PvE shooter, has been announced for release this summer on PC, PS5, Xbox Series, PS4, and Xbox One. Developer Cold Iron Studios has revealed the project, which was teased back in 2018, and I don't remember this tease, to be honest with you. And I love me an Alien game.
Well, you do, indeed.
And it will take place...
You played original Isolation.
I know. It will take place over a multi-mission story campaign, similar to the structure of Left 4 Dead or Back 4 Blood. Cold Iron co-founder Craig Ziginfzik says that one of the goals of Alien Fireteam is to fulfill the Cameron-esque fantasy we saw on screens in 1986's classic Aliens. Fireteam is set in 2202, 23 years after the original Alien movie trilogy. At this point in the timeline, Xenomorph outbreaks are rare, but the aliens are widely known about. The Colonial Protection Act of 2187 commissioned warships to patrol the universe and protect the colonists from xenomorph outbreaks. You play as a new soldier aboard the USS Endeavour, and you end up orbiting Katanga after a distress call. Sounds pretty cool, to be honest with you. I'm really into it.
It looks gorgeous.
Yeah.
Did you watch the trailer?
I've watched the trailer and I've watched the 25 minutes of gameplay. So if you head over to IGN, to their IGN First thing, they've got exclusive 25 minutes of gameplay. And it looks like everything that Colonial Marines promised us.
And it wasn't.
And I'm super excited to play it. Normally, I don't buy into this sort of stuff. Like, I'm not a team-based shoot-'em-up kind of person. I've dabbled a little bit here and there in certain games. Like, when we played Spellbake for, like, the whole of, 2 weeks or something.
That was so much fun whenever we used to go shopping. I enjoyed that. I miss those days.
Yeah, stuff like that. But this looks really cool. They've got also on IGN meet 6 new Xenomorph types. So they've got, I'll go through them here. You can't see them, but they've got the bursters. Though generally behaving like runners, bursters are more dangerous. When slain, their bodies explode with lethal pools of acid. The species they gestate within is not yet known, but likely indigenous to Redacted. In short, don't kill them up close. And they've got this little image of this alien with like pus sacs on its head, which is really cool. They've got Praetorians, they've got the normal runners, your normal drones. They've got prowlers, which are like leaping things with like a stabby tail. They've got runners, and they've got the last one that I think is really cool because it looks a little bit like, you know, in Prometheus, the deacon at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks a little bit like that. And this one's called a spitter. So it's like a long distance kind of like spitty spit boy. Daddy.
I was thinking that. I just wasn't going to say, you're a dirty bitch. You're such a dirty bitch.
I think it looks really cool. I like the way that, like, you've got these hordes of aliens and stuff coming towards you. I like the fact that it seems like they've got some environmental destruction stuff. So there's a Xenomorph just got blown up. There's acids on the floor, and it's like melting the floor a little bit, which is cool. As long as they don't fuck the AI up, then I think it's going to be a pretty good game.
What do you see? Day one, they'll be like, "Oh, they fucked it. I'm going to play it anyway. Catch me in stream later playing this."
Get my fire team together.
I have to say, like, it does look scary in places, right? But I would, I think I'm actually interested because I really enjoy. Surprise, surprise! I really enjoy Alien. I enjoy the films. I think they're really good. They're just amazing. Yeah. So, yeah, I might be in your fire team.
I think the thing for this is it's the power fantasy, isn't it? It's not scary because you're the Marine, you're the guy with the firepower, you've got the means to take the enemy down. Whereas when you're looking at something like Alien Isolation, you're without power. You have nothing to fight the Xenomorph with, like, and it is hunting you down. So I think in any game, in that kind of aspect where the table's turned a little bit and you're turned from powerless to powerful, it loses its scare. I'm sure
but did
it's
going to be very... the hordes of them?
Yeah, but I'm sure it's going to be very intense. Don't get me wrong. But I don't think it's going to be scary. I think it's going to be like when you play something like... did you play Days Gone? No, I bet you didn't, did you? Or World War? No, you probably didn't play that either. I think it's going to be like when you're in a horde mode, you know, and you've got loads of enemies and stuff coming towards you. It's going to be that tension of like trying to take the wall of people down more than being like, oh shit, this is an alien and I'm terrified of the alien. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be more like just trying to kill as many of them as you can.
What I want to know though is if you get like a face hugger or something on you, do you then explode and become the alien? Become one of the horde? That would be a really interesting mechanic. What I'm kind of hoping is, because it's PvE, which is cool, but I think later down the line it'd be cool if they could do a PvP version, so maybe like 3 versus 1. Yes. And maybe you get to go in as an alien and like have to go in there and as a face hugger. Maybe it's like in stages. Did you ever play? No, you probably didn't, but did you ever hear about the game Evolve? Yes. So in Evolve, it was like the same sort of situation where I wanted to play that. I had it in bloody Games of Gold, and then I couldn't get anybody to bloody play it with. Well, it was shit, so that's probably why. But they had this mechanic of you are one of, I think it was 3 hunters or 4 hunters, versus 1 monster, and you would go into the game as a baby monster and do things and then grow and evolve throughout the match sort of thing. I think it'd be pretty cool if they did something similar here. So maybe you start out as a face hugger, you manage to like jump and clasp onto somebody, like, and then burst out of them and then turn into a runner or whatever it is, and maybe choose your cast type depending on what player you jump onto. Because you're gonna have like different player types. You might have the medic or the long range person, the sniper person. So maybe if you jump on a sniper person, then you turn into a spitter. Or if you jump onto the heavy tanky person, then you turn into a Praetorian. Like, that would be pretty cool. That would be cool. If you want to hire me for any video game ideas, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Beardy Gaymer. So yeah, I think it's going to be a pretty cool game. I just don't know if these games have got the legs anymore. You look at things like
Predator Hunting Grounds, same idea, but you're versing each other. So you get your team of people as mercenaries / like army people, and then one person plays as the Predator. I don't think that really did gangbusters, did it?
Yeah, but I think it depends. Like, if it's PvE, then if they build it into and it's a campaign, and they build it into something like, because PvE campaigns, some of them are really good and they have big followings, like Destiny. It depends what they do. It depends what they do with it and how they do it. Like, if they make it an interesting storyline, and then maybe expand that out, so that you might have to return to the start area to do something different, or like, it depends on how the story unfolds, I guess.
I think then you're treading on the realms of games as a service, and we've seen so many times now that games as a service don't quite work, although the intention and everything else is there.
Yeah,
a lot of companies struggle to get that model off the ground.
Yeah.
So I mean, we'll see where it goes. Maybe it's just maybe there's a campaign. There's obviously a campaign mode. Maybe you can play that co-op all the way through, which would be cool if you can play with friends and do the whole story together. And then when you get to the end of it, it's then like, what happens next? Because to keep people involved in this thing, they're going to need to start putting new maps out, new characters out, new aliens out.
Yeah.
Different modes to play in, like all that kind of stuff. And again, you're then morphing back into a games of a service game. So post-launch content support is going to be key for whether this makes it or breaks it.
It's going to be interesting though. And look, at the end of the day, sometimes we do just want something that we can go into. Like, if we have 20 minutes free, our meets are free, we just want to go in, have a bit of time where you're doing something with your mates that you might not see, or it'd be a weird time of day or whatever. There's not really. I don't think there's enough of those sort of put down games anymore, or certainly not in my world. It's stuff that you have to. The vast majority of things now you have to be able to invest a lot of time in.
Mm-hmm.
And it's if they do things like that, like sections of it where you could just go and blast through it like in 20 minutes or an hour or whatever, that'd be quite nice. Do you know what I mean, with your mates? And
I completely agree with that. I think it's a good game to drop in and out of, and for a very long time I have been looking for that game. I've been looking for my games as a service game to some extent. Destiny was it for a while, but I kind of feel like I'm so behind on all the different ins and outs of that now. Like, I'm lost, so I kind of give up on that. I tried Division 2. I really enjoy Division 2, but nobody else that I know really plays it, so that kind of fell off the bandwagon a little bit. I bought Avengers, hoping that maybe Avengers might become that game, because I know a couple of people that do play it, so maybe that might happen. And then hopefully this might be my drop in, drop out online shooter game, because I don't really have an online shooter game.
I think I would probably give it a go with you, to be honest. Like, I think it looks absolutely stunning, and it'd be a good laugh.
Yeah.
I mean, there'd be lots of me panicking probably, or
True.
being shit. But
True.
yeah.
True. Well, if you want to check out any more information on that, make sure you head over to IGN, because they do have like an exclusive marketing deal thing with Aliens Fireteam, so all the deets are going to be over there. That brings us to the end of this week's news roundup. Ta-da!
Ta-da! Jason!
Before we wrap it out, let's go through what's out this week. So we've got Kingdoms of Amalur Re-Reckoning, which is coming to Switch on the 16th of March. We've got RBI Baseball 21, which is coming to PC, PS4, Xbox, and Switch on the 15th. Plants vs. Zombies Battle for the Neighborhood Complete Edition is coming to the Switch on the 19th of March. And Root Film is coming to PS4 and Switch on the 19th of March as well. That's it, we survived another one.
Another one?
Another one bites the dust.
I literally had that song on this afternoon whilst it was working full blast.
Gay. So, gay. Beast. Yeah, that brings us to the end. Anything else? Any other little nuggets of news you want to drop? Anything that's caught your eye this week?
I'm coming out next week, yeah. You were talking about what was coming out next week. I'm always out, though.
Yeah, I was going to say, old news old, yeah?
Yeah. I mean, I do have a pride wristband and bloody iWatch, so let's be honest.
Did she get any gear?
No, girl.
Well, I don't think there's anything else. The only other thing really was which was more of a story last week, was the Switch Pro rumors, which I'm really looking forward to them actually saying something about that.
Me too. I am so excited about Switch Pro. Yes, I love the Switch.
Digimonk says the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game. Yeah, that's a thing, isn't it? Have a little look at that quickly, IGN.
Oh, I did see something about that, but I was in the middle of something else, so I didn't read it.
Yeah, I think it was announced yesterday. Blah, 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 blah. Scrolly. I know it's going to be a direct sequel to an old NES game, and it's like a side-scrolling beat-em-up.
I remember that game, and you could play it like co-op.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so cool. So cool.
And for some reason, I can't find any information on this.
I love the Turtles.
Oh, here we go. No, wrong one. No, that was not the one that I'm looking for. Aha, here we go. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Scry. So I was starting to read it as I was loading the thing, and then it swapped out and I lost the sentence, so that's why I fucked that one up. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge has been announced for PC and console. This is coming from Jordan Ollerman over at IGN. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge has been announced for PC and console. It's a 4-player co-op side-scrolling brawler developed by a member of the Scott Pilgrim vs. the World the game team. It's been inspired by games like 1991's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Turtles in Time. Shredder's Revenge offers a classic pixelated art style and shell-shocking new abilities built on the foundation of the classic brawling mechanics.
Yes.
There's a trailer, so you should go check that out if you want to. It looks pretty cool. The stills that I've got here are very much, giving me those NES vibes.
Yeah. Heroes in a half shell. Turtle power.
It looks good. For anyone that's excited for that, I'm sure it's going to be a good game. Does not tickle my pickle though, I'm afraid. I was never I wasn't a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle kind of guy.
Oh my god, I loved them.
No, I was more X-Men.
I also loved it. I love the X-Men as well. Brilliant. Gamers Assembles do retro gaming themes. That should be our...
Forever lives in my brain rent-free.
Rent-free.
100%. Right, Tiggs, let's wrap this show up. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram individually with our little names here. I always get this wrong. It's right here. But you should go and follow at the main channel that this is all being presented by, which is Gaymers Assemble. You can find them at Gaymers Assemble, spelt Gaymers, Assemble normally, Gamers the gay way, Assemble the normal way, because you can't make Assemble gay apart from putting rainbows on it. We will be back with an episode of the podcast. I don't know if we're doing one this weekend. We did one the other night, so you should go check that one out, which is our...
That one was the most digressions we've ever had in a podcast to date. It's 2 hours of absolute
nonsense.
Fun.
It's 2 hours of absolute nonsense.
It was... Oh no, he didn't go there. He didn't go there. And on that bombshell, that was brilliant. I did really enjoy the other night.
Yeah,
it was really, really good fun. Yeah.
But hopefully, I was going to say, hopefully not the last. It's definitely not the last. So hopefully we'll do another one. Maybe this weekend. I'll drop some messages in the Discord later. See if we can get together on Sunday to do another one. But if not, keep your eyes peeled because another episode of the podcast will be coming soon. And as always, on a Friday, tune in, get some snacks, grab your popcorn, get a beer in. The weekend's here, and join me for the news roundup. So we'll say ta-ra. Say goodnight, Tiggs.
Good night, Tiggs.
Bye, all. Have a nice weekend. We'll see you next week.
Have a good weekend.
Ta-ra.
Bye.